Hello everyone, welcome to Shorter Than the Easel. We get to see my face again and not just a PNG, even though it is easier to record the digital stuff, like the actual art process with the PNG. But I want to talk about something that I was debating on which channel of mine to put this on, but I think we need to talk about the AI situation a bit more because the more I see videos popping up talking about different creators being called out for using AI to some extent, whether they have or haven't used it, there is a common denominator that a lot of these videos have, and that is the mention of AI detectors, like AI art detectors. And I think we need to start talking about that a bit more because it's kind of creating what I like to call the digital art, like AI, not even digital art, just AI witch hunt. Like people are purposely like seeking out digital art, especially throwing it into these detectors and being like, "Oh, you see, there is a chance this could be AI generated." And the moment I see any video talking about these different potential dramas or artists potentially using AI, and I see these detectors come up, I immediately just click out of the video now. Because let's be completely honest, if you've ever thrown your own work into one of those detectors just out of curiosity, there is always going to be a major margin for error. Those things are about as reliable as polygraph tests. They should not be trusted. They go off percentage. It's not a definite yes or no either way. Because it doesn't matter how much you do yourself, it's still going to pick up something that it might recognize as potentially AI, whether it's AI or not. But with the rise of generative AI, and with how common it is, there's also been a distrust towards digital artists and digital art in general. It's almost as if the title of digital artist is now being seen as a potential red flag, which it shouldn't be, because, hi, digital artist right here. School taught in traditional, self taught in digital. I started my digital art journey back in the early 2000s with the Wacom Bamboo Fun tablet. Like, it is just as much a medium now as it was then, but it has taken digital artists almost decades at this point to be recognized as actual artists and for their art to be recognized as actual art, because there's always been a stigma that it isn't real art because it's done digitally, it's done on a computer. So it's almost seen as being easier. And it's kind of funny with generative AI being the way it is and being as widely accepted as it's become by many, and so many people claiming that what they generate is real art, when decades ago the argument to claim digital art wasn't real art was the misconception and misunderstanding of the technology and people assuming that the computer did all of the work, that they either tapped something on the screen or typed something in and it created the image for you, when that's not what it is at all. And yet, generative AI does exactly that. And so many people are like, you see, I made art. It is art, when it's not. It is something that a computer generated. The person did not generate that. The program did. The technology itself did. Meanwhile, full art programs like Clip Studio, Procreate, Fresco, while some of them may have AI tools, tools as an option hidden within the menus, They are things you don't have to use at all, and it doesn't change the rest of the program itself. Those programs are basically like mini art studios compacted into one program because you have your brushes, you have your different mediums within the program because you have the sketching brushes, you have the ink brushes, you have the paint brushes, you have different types of paint brushes. And it's just like, it's literally a mini art studio in one program, and you have to learn how to use these different things. What brushes do what works better for blending, what works better for sketching, what look you like better for these brushes. And to see digital art and how it's perceived take a step backwards, it is very disheartening and concerning because I have seen art contests just a few months ago. It was either earlier this year or late last year. There was a contest going on, and there was traditional option, like traditional entry option, and digital. And digital not only had a lower prize value, as if seen as being lesser, but there were far more rules and effort that had to go into just submitting an entry, which honestly feels like that should bump up the value of the reward. I've seen so many people say now that they don't trust time lapses, they don't trust any digital art that they see. And there are so many videos just popping up of people even just going out into the wild and just picking up pictures from stores that have tags with digital artists listed, literally going on an AI witch hunt, being like, "Oh yeah, no, this can't be human made because of this, this, and this," and it's it's genuinely concerning. It has truly become a witch hunt, and there have definitely been stories I've heard of other artists, like actual artists who have made art, being banned from platforms because their work was flagged as AI when it wasn't. Real artists are being affected by these things and being affected by this witch hunt in a sense. And honestly, I don't know if there is truly a way to solve this. Because again, people will latch onto these certain things to look for, but let's be real. Aside from the very melty look that a lot of generative AI has, a lot of main things that people look at are also things that artists do struggle with, and especially a lot of beginner artists, because hands aren't easy, feet aren't easy, faces in general aren't easy. Like, there are so many things that, like, even eyes. I've seen people point out the eyes in work and be like, oh, yeah, no, that has to be generative AI. When, do you know how difficult it is, digitally and traditionally, to try and match the eyes to any degree? Because especially if you're dealing with like a tilted head, you can't just copy and paste that. It's like while there are telltale signs and some did in some of this generative AI art or well art has an uncanny valleyness to it. At the same time, people are claiming anything as AI art nowadays, and it's genuinely, I'm going to keep saying concerning because it is. Now, I really don't know how to end this video other than don't just blindly assume something is or isn't AI. When in doubt, look at the artists themselves, look at their backlog of work, read the captions, look at the tags if the images have any, look at their various platforms. Don't just blindly assume something is or isn't AI. Also, don't just throw an image into one of those detectors because it will pick up even the smallest percentage of anything it considers AI, whether it's human made or not. Those detectors are not reliable. Again, they are as reliable as polygraph tests, which is not reliable at all. There is a reason polygraphs aren't used legally now anymore, just in a court of law, because they are unreliable. It's like they pick up even like the smallest ounce of stress in the body, which, I mean, when you're hooked up to one of those things, you're gonna be stressed. Think of AI art detectors as the same thing. They will pick up percentages that they think is AI. Do not rely on those detectors. So I honestly don't know how to close this out. So if you want me to talk about more of these types of things, especially as an artist myself, comment below, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.